we're gonna go to mistakes in a second, but I'm saying like I'm scared to turn the puck over or whatever. For me, my thing would be like turn it over. Like like get used to it, man. Like you're gonna turn the puck over, right? It's okay to turn the puck over. So that kind of leads me into my mistakes thing, where from this situation to be like, if he's scared of making a mistake, because that's pretty common, then it's like, get used to making the mistake, man. Like it's okay to make the mistake, especially if you have a coach that's supportive, that's not punishing you for making mistakes. Then take advantage of that. And I'm not saying go turn the puck over on purpose, but be okay with making the mistake and recognize when you make the mistake and that you're fine. Like you came out the other side and you're okay. It's that voluntary exposure kind of thing to the mistake.
You know what's funny? I was just
Yeah.
thinking. I was just thinking. Like I caught not caught myself, but I remember raising our kids. I remember that jackass over there. He used to spill things a lot, right? So I remember he'd spill something. Oh, sorry, Dad. Sorry. I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. Like, but I know that sounds like very simple, but there's a lot of parents that go, be careful, and it's a snap show right away. If you would just stop using your hands when you're talking, or be mindful of what you're doing, you wouldn't spill shit all over the place. But like if you did it 12 times a day, I'd say, okay, dude, hey, stop hitting the freaking cup. But if he would spill things, it would be like, sorry, Dad. And it's like, dude, it's okay. Let's wipe it up. It's not a big deal. It happens to us all, right? And like when your kids make mistakes, it's like it's okay to like. It's actually a good thing to say. It's okay. Let's fix it. Like it's not a big deal because we all make mistakes, right? And I know that seems like a very simple thing, but it's true.
Well, okay, so this is exactly where I was going to go. So I wanted to talk about that. Most of the time, the questions that I get from players is, I'm just so scared to make a mistake on the ice. Like, how do I get out of my own head? This kind of comment. So whether your players are saying this to you or not, or your kid is saying this to you or not, it's a worry that everyone has. So I want to talk a little bit from the coaching perspective, parenting perspective about that, making mistakes. Something that I like to do from the coaching side of it is without being prompted. Like I don't wait for something to happen where a kid is already panicked like this. I try to address it right away, like start of the year, first time talking to the group, whenever it is, about what is going to piss me off and what's not. Right? So my first move is always to say to them, I don't care if you make a mistake, because I actually don't. Because at the end of the day, like this is the part I don't say out loud, is I actually don't really care if we win or not. I care that you guys learn how to play the right way. If we also win as a team, then that's cool. But my job of coaching, like I'm not worried about pursuing winning at all costs in any way, shape, or form. That's personal to me. I just don't care. Like I've said to you before, I'm not super competitive in that sense because it doesn't actually affect my life. If it affected my life more, then maybe I'd care more from that sense. But for me personally, that's my philosophy. I care that you guys play the right way, meaning you're going to have to make mistakes, because if I'm doing a good job coaching, I'm going to be forcing you to do things you're not used to doing because I'm teaching you how to play the game in a way you haven't played before. You're going to screw up. So I start with that. What's not going to piss me off is a mistake. What's going to piss me off is how you react to your mistake. If it's the bad body language, the slamming the stick, the swearing, the blaming, the attitude, that's going to piss me off. So make your mistake, eat shit, feel bad about it for a second. That's fine. And then let's figure it out, right? Maybe you come back to the bench and I talk to you about it. Maybe I don't need to. Maybe I just come over and say, hey, you already know, right? And they say, yeah, yeah. And that's all I need to say, or I say nothing. You just already know. So they need to know ahead of time that you're allowed to turn the puck over. I've said this with guys this year, like their games are the most like blatant, stupid mistake. Take like I threw a pizza up the middle and turned it over and they came down and scored. Guy comes to the bench and I just go, I don't leave it. I don't say nothing, because then the kid could stew and think my coach is so pissed at me, right? And I go put him at ease right away. I almost even make a joke out of it, like, hey man, you can't throw pizzas up the middle, right? And they just go, I know. I'm like, okay, let's not do that. Make sure on the whatever. Now there's been communication and they don't feel like they don't know what the coach is thinking, or there's that element of uncertainty of like, is he going to shorten my shifts later because I made this mistake now? Try to address it right away. So from the coaching side, when it comes to mistakes, this is something that whether the kids tell you or not, they're all worried about it. So if one thing you can do is just go with that to start the year off, assuming you're not a goof of a coach, which you could be, but If you're not, then address this right away. Make your mistakes. It's okay. We're going to talk about it. What's going to piss me off is how you react to it, number one. And number two is going to be if you've made the same mistake 27 times and we've talked about it 27 times and I can't see that you're making any effort to fix the issue, that's going to start to piss me off also, right? Everyone knows the rules then to start right away, and I find with a lot of my guys, that puts them at ease because like it's not a contest of who can make the least mistakes for me. I don't care about that. Nobody's perfect. I wasn't a perfect player in any way, shape, or form, and I'm not going to expect kids that are learning to play the game to be a perfect player at all. And I think that's important coming from the coaching side of it. So that's all I want to say about that. Anything to add from the coaching?
Yeah, well, like here's the thing: if you the thing is that if kids don't make mistakes, you don't have the opportunity to coach.
Yeah.
That's what coaching is, and then also sometimes kids and parents confuse coaching with getting in shit. I get that a lot. I don't want to get in shit. It's like no, it's just called coaching. So if you take like getting a puck out of your own zone, like it's really not the end of the world in Pee Wee Major at a 13-year-old level that you didn't make the exact right play that the coach thought you should make. But if you send the puck up the middle of the ice and it's intercepted in the back of your net, now it's called coaching. That's all it is. And that's the best way to learn is by making a mistake that was costly. Right? So, and it's not like losing your shit on the kid. That's is important. It's about saying, okay, Eric, what do we talk about? Remember in practice, we talked about getting the puck out off the wall or doing it this way. So why do we do that? I know because it went up the middle. Okay, there we go. That's why. That's the reason. That's the result of you will cost goals or that the turnover is a costly turnover for a team. So we want to avoid that, or you can't be doing that again. Yeah. So if he does it once or two or you do that a few times. Now that mistake that happens over and over and over. Then it comes down to a couple of things, right? Now you are not paying attention. Now you piss me off. Now it's not a mistake anymore. It's you just don't care. That's a different issue. Or you do not have the brains to absorb this shit, then you shouldn't play, right? But that's a couple of those things. But like, if you don't care and you refuse to listen, that's a different issue. But if most kids are willing to learn and listen, so mistakes are good. Now, just a side note of that is like, I know it's really hard for people to accept, and sometimes it's just it sounds like it's cliche bullshit, but you don't learn by succeeding. If you do everything right, you'll never learn anything. Well, not much anyways. You're going to make mistakes, and everything's going to be fine, but you're going to make mistakes. But if I sit here and just beat myself up after every mistake I've ever made, I mean, I'd be black and blue, dude. Right? And it's like when you start a skill. Okay, you're starting a skill. You want to learn how to shoot properly. It's like you don't get it on 3 tries, man. It's a mistake after mistake. But the beautiful thing about mistakes or fixing things is that's where your learning takes place. And you hear this from the most successful people in the world, the biggest business people in the world, is they failed their way to success. It's the truth, right? A salesman doesn't make 10 phone calls and get 10, or it used to be phone calls. But you don't make 10 phone calls and get 10 sales. You make typically 50 phone calls to maybe get an appointment.
Yeah, to get one answer.
Get one answer.
Yeah.
It's persistence. It's learning. So you take that first phone call that you make. You sound like a scared little girl. I'm selling this photocopier. They go, yeah, okay, see you, buddy. And then you go, but you learned, okay, to have a steady voice and then have some confidence that, maybe don't beg people and act like you know what you're doing. But that takes time. And it was no different than when I started this business. Like I was nervous at first to actually sell the product. I'd go out and say, like, I got the best freaking product you ever, like, I got the best hockey school you ever seen. Right? I was nervous because I knew I did, but I didn't know that I didn't know that I know. I knew that I did, but people would look at you like, what are you talking about? But then once you understand that you talk to people and you get the confidence that you can talk, you already know what the objections are going to be. You already know what they're going to say, think, and then you know your product's going to be good. Then you have the confidence just to do it. It's like, then you're not needy anymore. It's like, no, I don't even want you anymore. But anyways, my point is that you make a lot of mistakes to get some success. So as a hockey player, anybody, as a dad, anything that you're going to do in life is that you got to make mistakes. You have to make them, right? Your dad's a musician. He didn't just start playing Pink Floyd The Wall, right? He had to learn, right? He had to learn. I know I pick out the stupidest shit, but right, you have to learn. You have to make the mistake. No, that's not right. That's not right. And then you got some beautiful thing happening, right? And it's just so important. And I encourage parents, coaches to not just have a mistake fest out there, but coaching, or mistakes equal coaching, and mistakes equal learning, and mistakes equal success at some point.